I can't think of an intro again. For the amazing Yamaguchi Ryu from Street Fighter with the extra face. With the extra face. And here is the front of the box, the back, the left side, and the gross ugly side. And of course, you already know, every top deserves a bow with a bunch of mumbo jumbo on it. Time to get into his box. Goddamn, where'd it go?
You win! Perfect!
That's normally not that easy. Let's open you up, baby. I'm really getting good at this. Delicious! And here is the spread. And now, I'm not gonna lie to you, beautiful viewer, I personally prefer the classic Ryu, but this grizzled, brooding big boy was actually done pretty well. And revoltech's cloth goods just keep getting better. That said, there are some minor issues with his tablecloth looking thing, but we'll get to that later on. In the meantime, here is a close-up of the beautiful Ryu from the front. Ooh, hey, we already did the feet jokes in the jury video. And here he is from the back. Lift that skirt up for me, baby. And here's his right side, his left side, and wouldn't you know it, we're already at poseability. Hey, whoa, too soon. We always start with the T-pose. And of course he can hit the T-pose. He is an amazing Yamaguchi after all. But wait, that's not the full extent of his power. No, in fact, through years of training, he's reached levels of poseability the likes of which you've never seen. So much so that this mighty warrior has gained a ball joint at the wrist, a ball/hinge joint at the forearm, which allows for some odd movement, as well as a bend well over 90 degrees. And of course, what is an amazing Yamaguchi without an upper bicep swivel? And if you combine all that with some retractable shoulder blades, his arms are able to cross in front of his body like no other Ryu ever has. Aside from that, just with a ball joint in his head, he can look up about this much. And if you add his neck joint, he can look up even further, though it does leave a bit of a gappage. The downward motion of his neck is just as good, though you do get a similar gapping issue. Moving on, Ryu has a nipple that's in a really odd place. A ball joint at the upper torso that allows for this much movement. And it twists pretty well. And if that mobility is just not enough for you, you greedy bastard, you get a ball joint at the lower waist, which gets you even further beyond, which as always allows for a pretty decent setup. And he hits one of the cleanest side splits I've ever seen, as well as front to back. His legs also have an upper thigh swivel, as well as a single hinge joint at the knee, which does way more than it needs to. A boot cut at the calf, just like humans have in real life. A squeaky ball joint at the ankle, to match the squeaky ball joints at the hips. Bone-shattering ankle pivot for that crouching light kick input. Yeah, I know my fighting games. And of course, the toe bend. And interestingly enough, his toe hinge is gold. And yeah, guys, this guy is definitely killing it in terms of poseability. And like I said before, while I do prefer the more classic-looking Ryu, the beard is giving him a striking resemblance to our new mayor, and I'm loving it. What's that? We're already to accessories? Hell yeah, we are. And what better way to start it off with other than the extra face? And I'm not gonna lie to you folks, while the damaged face is nice, it's a little underwhelming. Aside from that, you get stern and looking to the right. That's the first time I've ever set a direction and gotten it right. And here he is with his teeth gritting, looking slightly to the left. And I am noticing that the eyes for pretty much the whole Street Fighter releases have been a little blurry, but I don't know, maybe that's just me. Tell me in the comments what you think. Anyways, the last head sculpt we get is this mouth open looking to the left face. And maybe it's just me, I don't know, but I'm not a huge fan of it. I know that technically he does make this face, so it is accurate. But this is more of an O mouth shape as opposed to a mouth shape, but you still look pretty cool. Oh, one more thing that I'd like to add in regards to the head sculpts is that this part of the headband is not at all poseable on any other head sculpt, which is crazy to me because I feel like every Ryu figure that has come out, this part has been on some sort of peg. So why? What was so difficult to put a peg behind the head so we can move it from left to right or whatever the we want? Moving on, aside from the mandatory fisting hands, you also get some martial art hands. Moving on, what Ryu would be complete without another set of fisting hands? Now, you might be saying to yourself, they look exactly the same. Well, that's because they do. In fact, the only difference is they have these little holes on the top and bottom of the fists, much like he has on his elbows, which you can see right here. And apparently, their only use is for accessories that come with the amazing Yamaguchi Luke, which are technically not even accessories for Ryu. And you know, I saw the holes on the forearms and I was like, they're kind of ugly, but they're probably for his Hadoken. But why, revoltech? Why would I use effects meant for Luke on Ryu? That makes no sense. But anyway, let's move on to the hands that you've been waiting for. hands. I'm just kidding, of course, because these are the Hadouken hands. And the effect looks absolutely gorgeous. And as you can see, this is where the figure really shines because, at least to me, Amazing Yamaguchi is the best when it comes to dynamic poses. But wait, that's not all the Hadouken can do. If you take off this little sperm-looking thing, you get this insane-looking charging effect. But yeah, anyways, in conclusion, this guy is totally sick. And my only real gripe with him is that his little poncho-looking thing is not at all removable. And the main reason is because this ring part of the robe is attached to his chest with some adhesive right there, which technically I guess you can get off with a heat gun or something like that. But then you'd be left with this whole divot that was made specifically for this piece, and it would just look ugly. And I don't know, I think it would have been a cool option to have him without the robe. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it before, this is a really weird placement for a nipple, but I guess where else would you put it? But yeah, other than that and the fact that this is not poseable, which, by the way, this is really silly. But personally, I think that those are really minor things, which are more than outweighed by how amazing Yamaguchi the figure is in general. And I would say that out of all the amazing Yamaguchi Street Fighter characters that have come out, aside from Luke, because I'm not getting him because he's ugly, he might just be the best, if not tied for the best with my beautiful baby girl, Juri Han. So if you were wondering if you should get him or not, it is a resounding yes from me. And he definitely gets my totally useless and meaningless sweet kiss of approval. As do you, beautiful viewer. Now let's get ready for the birthday! And what a better way to start off with than what's probably everyone, if not most people's definitive Ryu? Storm Arena Alpha 3 Ryu. And obviously, they're completely different when it comes to design. This guy being the more classic version of Ryu that we're used to seeing. And it's because of that fact that I feel like they both have a place in a Street Fighter collection. So why don't you get both, baby? Next up here is Ryu with his longtime boyfriend, Storm Marine again. And the height difference is not terrible, especially if you're gonna put them in a fighting pose together. And here he is with the only reason that I bought Street Fighter 6, Amazing Yamaguchi Juri Han. And right now, of the Street Fighter 6 Amazing Yamaguchi line, I would say that these two are the ones to get. And then, of course, there's Chun-Li. I'm just kidding, there's plenty of reasons to get Chun-Li. But seriously, when looking at all the Street Fighter Amazing Yamaguchi releases together, as well as the Luke release, there is really no reason as to why Chun-Li got so shafted by not getting a cloth skirt. However, do not worry, beautiful viewer, and even more beautiful subscriber, because if you didn't know, 52 Toys is coming out with their own third-party Chun-Li in both the Street Fighter 6 outfit as well as her classic outfit. And although the skirt is also plastic, it seems to be done in a much better way. Now we just have to wait for it to actually come out. Okay, let's get back to the review. And what better line to end it off with than the one that scales terribly with absolutely every other figure line? Storm Collectibles, Morgan Onslaught. And obviously she towers over him. There's not that many Storm Collectibles that you can put with much other lines, but that's okay because we're getting a Storm Marina Morgan, as well as a Felicia. God, I fucking love you. Oh, and I almost forgot. Here he is with another Ryu, the not Amazing Yamaguchi Ryu Hayabusa by AC Factory. And this figure looks absolutely amazing. And for only about 30 bucks, even if you've never played Ninja Gaiden, you should definitely pick this guy up. Especially because Amazing Yamaguchi never made a white version. And also because I have a referral link down below. And look at you, you beautiful bastard. You made it to the end of another review. Just for that, how's about we do the thing together?
Miss! They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine.
Are you serious?
Oh, this destruction. Faces, worn out places, worn out faces. Will it ever be enough?
Scene transition. Cut.